Evening, everybody. I thought I'd kill for a fag, so I did. Nothing mysterious about it. Didn't ask the gentleman, just grabbed it from his mouth as I stabbed him. The same gentleman who'd been in the middle of giving me directions to Queen Street when he went for his gun. Just not fast enough. What a shame. His directions had been notable for their clarity, his manner pleasant, even bouncy, and I admired anyone who'd worked for an animal charity in the street in a bear costume. But I didn't think I was guaranteed of getting all the way to Queen Street, not with what he'd given me before I had to kill him. What I'd got from him was superb, don't get me wrong. Perfectly clear. I'd understood. Keep going uphill, take second left, past Comet, first right, and that's about as far as we'd got. And because the law was now in pursuit, the law in the form of men with dogs as opposed to huge volumes of text, I was already sprinting along the first right after Comet, having taken second left. But where was I going now? Which way to Queen Street? Sensibly, I asked several other people for directions, but I didn't get the chance to listen to what they said because, well, they didn't answer. They couldn't answer because they didn't really hear me because I was sprinting. Hurtling, in fact. When it comes to escaping the authorities, one must hurtle. And quickly. A slow hurtle will get you caught in no time. Of course, I wasn't hurtling simply to flee from this half-canine manifestation of the law. No, I had a train to catch. But such was the brilliance of my hurtling, I was in danger of arriving early. This was assuming that the third left I'd just taken after the first right past Comet was correct. But my instinct told me that it was, and I trusted my instinct. Well, it sounded ultra-sincere, you see, like an impassioned sat-nav. I was supposed to be visiting a friend in Haymarket, you know, help him move a fridge freezer into the garage. I wasn't meant to become a killer, an instant fugitive en route, oh God, no. Ideally, it would have been the case of gently strolling to Queen Street, boarding my train, sucking spearmints in a window seat, listening to downloaded whale song. But my hand was forced. And when that happens, charity bear man or no, the forced hand must forcefully enforce a handful of... Oh, it wasn't my knife. It was the bear's, the gentleman with the gun. His knife. He tucked it into his red with white polka dots bandana, the big bastard. But I saw the tip glinting, yes, glinting, twinkling as it poked out from between the folds. Bloody stupid place to stash a blade, especially one of that size. Anyway, I jumped up and grabbed it, snatched his fag and stabbed him, like I said, straight into his big brown furry belly. I hadn't wanted a fag at all. I don't smoke. I was just joking at the start. I thought I'd kill for a fag, so I did, ha ha ha. Just a wee joke to kick off, you know. A wee joke makes it easier to lead in. One moment. Ah yes, it makes it easier to lead in, get the story going before things get serious. I did grab the fag. Oh sure, that's true. I grabbed it and took a long, deep post-stab draw, admittedly for effect. Hopefully not confusing it with post-coital smoking in films. In any case, I was actually glad of a deep drag in the seconds following the bear man's death, but regretted it seconds later when I had to start running. I don't think it agreed with my lungs at all. I'm asthmatic, you see, a tad frail. Those dogs had never taken a drag in their puff, and it showed. Nothing frail about those dogs, nothing slow about them either, and nothing quiet or cute. I wouldn't be surprised if they were selected on account of these deficiencies. Fearsome beasts they were, huge tongues lolling out and eyes the colour of blood. I couldn't see them, of course, since I wasn't running backwards, but my mind's eye had a perfect view of them and duly informed me of the facts. I'm not sure if this was helpful or not. Anyway, I simply had to make that train. I'd have given at least one of my internal organs, preferably the appendix, to not miss it. For various reasons, I really owed this friend of mine in Haymarket, owed him my life. I would not have given him my life, of course, and he wouldn't have accepted it because it didn't fit him. But helping him move a fridge freezer was a start in any case. I hate being in debt. So I hurtled on, bounded in fact, despite my asthma. I followed up that third left after the first right past Comet with a deft second right downhill past Fop. Then, bounding along first left, I switched back to hurtling, as a hurtle is generally faster than a bound in my experience. Even so, my instinct swatting any trace of complacency, I hurtled faster, and faster, and etc. And I was wise to do so. The dogs weren't as loud as they had been, and my mind's eye reported lolling tongues not quite as huge as before. My instinct concurred. There was no mention of their blood-coloured eyes, but I assumed that they too had diminished in proportion to my increased rate of hurtling. How many bounders have been chased down by dogs? The answer is millions. How many hurtlers? I don't know, but far less. Where was I? Well, that's just it, I didn't know. Still no sign of Queen Street, and regardless of my speed, I was surely in danger of being late for the train. Where was I? Red post box. Panic. Confusion. First left. Another first left. Another first left. Red post box. The same one. Stop! I stopped. My instinct asked me what the fuck I thought I was playing at. But there was no barking. I turned around. No dogs, no tongues, no blood-coloured eyes. I'd lost them. Jubilant, I hurtled off again, hurtled off down the hill, past Tesco Express, second right and straight into a gentleman. I'd been hurtling into the wind and my eyes were streaming, so I wiped them and looked at him again, focusing, straining my eyes to ensure that he wasn't dressed as a bear. No, he was naked. No, a suit. He had a suit on. A suit I would have liked to acquire if only there'd been time. He wasn't much taller than a dwarf, but I could have had it lengthened. But time was short. Even shorter than this guy. So I apologised for the collision and asked him if he knew the way to Queen Street. He said he didn't, but it wasn't as simple as that. He said it haughtily, as if I'd slammed into him on purpose, when in fact it had been a mere accident. Little fucker. He wasn't nearly as pleasant as the bear who tried to shoot me. Not in the least bit cordial. Faced with this indisputable act of aggression, I did what any normal red-blooded man trying to catch a train to help a friend move a fridge freezer would do. I asked him politely for the time. He said he didn't know and then died. His last request was, please put down that knife. Thanks.
Our last reader is Miss Ruthie Walker, 24, 5'5". Despite her innocent look, she was banned